Yo, yo, yo.
What's
You
going
know,
on?
back first episode of the year 2025.
That's a
Politics
fact.
as usual, RC. Shout out to Lounge Studio for the backdrop for this episode.
We in Times Square with it, man.
Man, moving on up. Pause, man. RC. What's the word though, man?
I'm chilling, man. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Yeah, this episode 4, politics as usual, the inauguration recap. Your man been in office about 2 weeks. Monday will make 2 weeks, 14 days. You know, your man Snoop Dogg, he getting a lot of backlash for playing a part in the inauguration. Him and Nelly. But Nelly ain't as bad as Snoop and shit. Ross ain't really received no backlash. How you feel about the inauguration? You watched it?
Nah, I ain't really watch it. Cause I ain't know what time was coming on TV, to be honest.
Yeah, that shit kind of came
Yeah.
on early. I thought that shit was gonna be like in the evening.
So I didn't really watch it, but I definitely saw the recap. I mean, Snoop getting backlash for performing at the inauguration. He's an entertainer. Like, they get paid to perform.
I think it's because when he first got Trump first term, Snoop
Yeah, he
was
was saying a
he
whole
was
bunch of shit
talking
about Trump.
crazy like, "Yo, which one of y'all gonna be tap
But
dancing
that's
all that?"
everybody's problem. Malcolm X said, we always want to put the entertainers and the celebrities and the actors, the musicians, the athletes, we want to put them at the forefront as people to speak up for our struggle. Snoop Dogg, much respect to Snoop Dogg, but Snoop Dogg is not a voice for the struggle. He's not somebody that steps up and his opinion on black political issues is something that we all supposed to step in line with. Nah, that's not the person to be looking toward for an example. So to be mad at him for saying one thing and then doing the next one, he got paid to do his job. Like, it just goes to show we don't know who to be mad at, man.
What you think about the backlash Nelly that was got?
I mean, they performers. They performers, bro. It was a situation. I was watching an interview with Fat Joe and Ja Rule. They were talking about how they got paid to go perform for some dictator in Africa. You know, they're performers. If you pay them, they're gonna show up and do their job. So money ain't Republican or Democrat. Money is money.
So back episode 2, he was like Trump got to get 50. So when I seen he gonna have Ross, I'm like, yo, 50 ain't doing it, man. But how you feel about Curtis and Scope Jackson not being involved with the inauguration? You don't think Trump had the bag for him?
Nah, I think they just because there's people that do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They have people who are in charge of the festivities, securing the entertainment, the food, the venue, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So whoever was in charge, they just booked those acts, and then agents and the whole nine reaching out. It's a whole network that goes on with that. So nah, I don't think it's nothing. And maybe 50 was busy. 50 be having a lot going on. But it ain't nothing personal. I don't think 50 gonna do Trump like how he doing Big Meech and them for messing with Ross. You know.
So, what you think about the stop and frisk coming back?
Stop and Frisk ain't coming back, man.
You don't think so with
No, it's
Trump?
not, bro. It's not coming back. Donald Trump, he is the all right, right? By the 10th grade, everybody should have learned national, state, and local government. National is the president, Congress, the Supreme Court, U.S. Marshals, FBI, niggas like that. The state government is the governor, the senator, you know what I'm saying? State police, people like that. Local government are your reps, your assemblymen, your mayors in New York, borough presidents. So somebody on a national level cannot affect what's happening on a local level. He cannot come in and say, as the president of the United States, I want New York City police to be stopping and frisking people. Eric Adams, that's why they call him mayor, the top cop. He oversees the commissioner, the police commissioner. So Eric Adams can make that direct decree. Yo, I want stop and frisk to be implemented again, which he's not gonna do. Like he's not gonna do that
Why you think he's not gonna do it?
because he black. Like, come on. He know firsthand that shit is it's not fair. It disproportionately affects black people. So no, he's playing the games he got to play to get out of being indicted. I don't know if y'all out there been indicted before. It's not a good feeling to know that motherfuckers is working to try to put you in jail. So if he got to go from blue to red to get out of the indictment, so be it. You know, even Jamaica too, buddying up with Trump, man.
Yo, what you think about this DEI situation with Trump?
Man, everybody got to do their homework. DEI does not mean black people. It doesn't mean black people. DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversify, give equity, giving everybody a share, giving everybody a stake, and inclusion, letting everybody partake in it. That don't just mean black people, bro. We had stuff on the books for us explicitly, affirmative action. They took that off. Obama could have re-implemented affirmative action. This ain't even to beat up on Obama, but he put in the DEI stuff, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That diversity, equity, and inclusion went hand in hand with all of the same-sex rights that he was pushing. You know, so that diversity, equity, and inclusion that helped to get gay people in the military, less discrimination against gay people and women in these CEO positions, you know, at these upper echelons of business and things like that. So DEI really helped white women. That's the main people who were helped by DEI were white women. That shit was not directly helping black people in no way, shape, or form. I'm not saying it didn't. But that was not for us, nor were we the main beneficiaries of that. So black people need to just calm the fuck down. Y'all still letting Al Sharpton get y'all riled up. Al Sharpton had a mob of niggas walking in Costco like, yeah. All right, we gonna spend our money with Costco. Costco about to cut him a check, and y'all niggas all went in there spending money, bro. Shout out to people who keep their DEI going. I'm not knocking nobody who's keeping that program going, but I'm just saying I'm not in an uproar over that shit being stopped, bro. Like cut it out.
Yeah, it's 2025. We shouldn't be following Sharpton lead.
Yeah.
Sharpton's wild.
Sharpton, he a wild boy, man.
Yo, what you think about the Trump comments about the copter and the plane crash?
Um, Now I ain't really get too deep into the backwork of it, but his first thing was to say it's a DEI hire. I mean, I'm a person. I don't expect nothing different from people other than what they show me. He's shown you he's not politically correct at all. Could he have handled that situation better? Hell yes. He could have said he just could have used so much better language. I saw some a little while ago where they said he was doing a press conference in the Oval Office, and they asked him, "Are you gonna go visit the crash site?" And he's like, "What do you mean visit the crash site? What, you want me to go swimming? Like it's underwater, you know?" And he's just not trained for this type of stuff. And I mean, that's kind of why we voted for him. The people who voted for him, we wanted somebody who's a break from the norm. Although he is kind of fucking shit up. We're gonna get to that in a second. But yeah, nah. His first thing was to go say it was a DEI hire. Now, the businessman in him is to take the catastrophe and try to spin it, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily to make it a positive, but to reinforce what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And from what I was seeing, the brother who's in charge of I think the FAA, don't quote me exactly as that's the agency that's in charge of that, but the brother who's in charge of that, he never flew a plane him damn self. So nobody's saying you got to fly a plane to be in charge of that. There was something like a year or two ago where they were training people for flight traffic control school. And none of that said you had to be a pilot. You know what I'm saying? So no, you don't have to. But is there somebody out there who had his credentials plus some extra experience on top? Maybe, you know, just vetting for the right person. But there's a whole bunch of other things that went into that. I saw something about safety protocols that weren't followed, and then it was dark, you know. So it's a whole bunch of other shit that went into that. But Trump, it would behoove him to stop trying to use every single thing that happens as a way to explain why we should be doing what he's saying we should be doing. You know, like nah, it's gonna be kind of like tasteless after a while.
So you said Trump been fucking up. What,
Oh, like that inauguration shit was bad, yo. How you got the richest people in the world sitting behind you, son? Like you let us know that you sold us out to the rich people. And it's not about black and white no more. It's about rich versus poor. I know an episode ago I said they making it man versus woman. They was making it man versus woman so that way they can play on both genders. And now it's rich versus poor, bro. That's the new thing. You know what I'm saying? It's rich versus poor. Um, Trump, he hasn't necessarily done nothing to like. Well, all this tariff shit he be talking about, you know, it's more so a scare tactic to try to like, you know, kind of intimidate people into going along with what he's asking for. But a lot of the stuff he's been passing has been benefiting the rich, man. Like now these people can accept gifts and shit like that. People in those governmental positions, which honestly is stuff that they've always been doing. What do you think lobbying is? They always been doing this shit. It's just now he's saying it's legal. You know, now he's saying it's legal. It's pretty much just now the rich can enjoy the spoils of being rich. And I think he needs to kind of come down to earth a little bit. Well, not come down to earth. I mean, he rich, but you know, kind of remember the people that got him here. I saw that he put something out the other day about Black History Month. You know, saying that he wants to announce Black History Month. I mean, Black History Month been here, but just him acknowledging that and you know speaking and giving credit to African Americans and our contributions to this country and just us being long-standing citizens from the inception of this nation. It was good to see in the midst of, you know, all the ICE shit going on. Everybody wants to say, oh, black people's next, black people's next. No, the fuck, black people's not next. Y'all need to understand, bro. We are not in everybody's situation. We've been here. This is our country. Like, a lot of this shit is not our problem. We need to focus on our problems.
what are the main problems? Our main problems that we should be focusing on.
I feel like a lot of the problems for black people is the problems for everyday Americans right now. You know what I'm saying? The problems in our community is stuff that we are gonna have to. It's more so a mindset that we're gonna have to work on fixing in our own community. But the problems that we have is like everyday American problems. You know, if somebody in an upper middle class area is complaining about rent, how you think somebody in the lower middle class or in a low income neighborhood is thinking about rent? You know, rent, food prices, all the things that were really talking points in the election. You know, he got in there, he did away with all the 75 gender shit. You know what I'm saying? He addressed, you know, the lunacy that was going on. So that's one thing. But like, you know, actually get to working on these things. It really is going to take some federal intervention to curtail these rent prices because it's a rent crisis in every major city. I saw something that said 53 of the largest cities in America aren't making enough money to cover their own bills. You know, so Macy's downtown Brooklyn is closing.
Yeah,
Like, when Macy's is closing,
that's
that's
crazy.
crazy. That should tell you something's bad. Like,
I
it's
ain't gonna
bad
lie.
out
I
here.
went in there a couple of times the last week or so, snatched up some low shit
The
for the low,
nostalgia, you know what I'm saying? But that should tell you that it's bad out here. So
and they got the whole strip. So that's definitely
that's a
low.
whole block. That's a whole block of downtown Brooklyn gone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, everyday issues are issues that affect us. You know, it's a mentality thing in our community. You know what I'm saying? That's stuff that we can get to, but more so just improving the way of life for the everyday American. That's going to affect us, and then from there, you know, we can begin to focus on what we need to focus on.
Yo, this happened a few weeks back. What you think about the Canada Prime Minister stepping down? I meant to hit you up about it when I seen this shit.
Oh, I mean, I guess shit getting bad up there in Canada right now. Uh, Usually that's how it goes, man. When the people's putting the pressure on these elected officials, they step down. You're not doing a good job. It's not necessarily time for election, but we don't want you in this job. So, you know, the people express their displeasure and you got to step down. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he did a noble thing. He listened to the people. He stepped down. I don't know about Canada being a 51st state. That'll be a big ass state. And he talking about Greenland too. But it's I'll say this. With the move Trump pulled on that inauguration day, and with him, because I ain't really crazy about him stopping all that shit in the Department of Justice and all that. It's like I saw Farrakhan say something. He's dismantling a lot of these institutions that got in the way of specifically speaking about black people, progress in our community. The Department of Justice. Do we get justice from the Department of Justice? How many times some shit came back about some probing and some police misconduct that we thinking, yo, this hook, line, and sinker. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody goes to jail. I saw something where they were saying that, you know, police officers get away with killing black people because black people weren't citizens or full humans in the Constitution. So that law generally
Three
doesn't apply
fifths
to
of a
us.
man.
3/5 of a man. And when you think about it, that got to be the only explanation as to why the hell so many of these cops over the years have not received any consequences from the Department of Justice. You know what I'm saying? The FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, need I say anymore? COINTELPRO, I already said too much. Freaking Congress, pass affirmative action, rescind affirmative action. Like, you know, we got to stop letting other people tell us we should be outraged at shit and sit back and just view it in its totality. He's dismantling that shit out of issues with the other party, and he's on a revenge tour. I don't think nothing is directly aimed at us that he's doing. You know, I think we need to stop getting all upset and all riled up. Like, just go with the fucking flow. You know what I'm saying? Make what's going on work best for you. I saw the whole thing with his meme coin. I
Yeah,
think
a
you
lot
weren't
of
able to
people
buy
made
them. A
money
lot of
off
people
that.
made money off of it. You know what I'm
That
saying?
knew about it.
That knew about it. I didn't know about it, and
Yeah,
I
I
heard.
found out after the
Yeah,
fact on Twitter.
I heard that they said that they have been talking about it since November, but it wasn't made publicly tradable until it reached a certain amount. But you know, nonetheless, if you tracking that and you following that, you got in on that. I think like 700 millionaires got made after the inauguration because of how much of the meme coin they had. So you know, let's take part in that, bro. Let's get to it. Let's make it work for us. He's about to start knocking shit down, and on top of that, he's got the majority in the Senate and the House, so they can just party line vote all the shit he wants. Party line vote is when everybody in the party just pledges to vote with the other people in their party. So there's no room for filibustering, no none of that. All the Republicans is already walking on the same page. Shit gonna be going through. No rubber stamp. So, you know, it's gonna be a lot of shit passed to benefit wealth creation, to benefit, you know, making money and keeping money in your pocket. Let's figure out how to make that shit work for us, man.
How you feel about people like Uncle Murder on the wrap up? He was like, "Yo, y'all let Trump back in the office, and y'all know he a racist and all that." A lot of people saying America let a racist back in office. Do you still feel corrected by your vote, or you regretting it, or
I don't regret my
you
vote.
standing on business with your
I'm
vote?
standing on my own business. Yo, all these Democrats is coming up saying, "Oh, I told you." First off, stop believing everything that these news outlets is putting out, bro. MSNBC, that's Democrat news. Freaking CNN, they were supposed to be bipartisan. No, they are not. They are very left leaning. Stop believing everything you see. Even Fox. Fox is extremely conservative. So don't believe everything you see on these outlets. If somebody's reporting something that was said, try to go find the clip of that person saying that shit from their own mouth. They were saying that Trump was freezing benefits to all these different states and blah 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 blah. Bro, no, he's not freezing no individual benefits to nobody. No individual benefits to no person would stop, bro. That was all a media playing with how they disseminated the information, bro. There's a real. He said fake news before. Watch the fake news this time around. Watch how many times one story come out, they run with it for 2 days, then they come back saying, "Oh no, President Trump." No, President Trump didn't even do this shit half the time. Like for real, bro. They playing games. The Democrats is playing the same games now that the Republicans was playing in 2020, 2021, or 2021. You know what I'm saying? It's so loser games, bro. It's so loser games, and that's mad whack. And that's pretty much what this has turned into. I I'm petty. I'm gonna keep it real. I think Jamaica Queens people just be petty. I'm petty as shit. So if y'all was trying to lock me up, y'all suing me, y'all got me under all kinds of investigation. I gotta make commercials and shit to ask for money. When I get back in there, I'm on y'all ass. So I can't even be mad, bro. This is the Republican revenge against the Democrats. They talking about, well, Trump and all this shit that he's doing is pretty much creating an oligarchy. Let's keep it real. But the Democrats are an aristocracy. We're pretty much just the smartest of us is the only people who get to make the decisions. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, bro, that's not the way it works. All levels of society have to have input on how this government works. You know, so the Democrats is telling you I told you so, but motherfucker, y'all ain't that much. Y'all ain't better at all. At least son is flat out with it. Y'all gonna still lie in our faces, and then when we catch y'all, y'all still gonna lie in our faces. Like, man, I don't regret nothing. I'm figuring out how to make this work for me. I ain't been affected by none of this shit he's been talking about or nothing he's been doing. So I'm working on trying to get my own business off the ground.
What business you trying to get off the ground and shit?
Box trucking, box
Box
trucks.
trucking.
Yeah.
That's bread. That's what's up. Yo, this is politics as usual with RC episode 4. RC sign us out.
Yo, I see y'all soon, man. Do your own homework, man. Don't believe the hype.
Yo, let's make sure y'all support RC with his business. That box truck support is important, man. Y'all gotta stop hating, man.
Be in a town near you real soon.
Word, man. Support is everything, man. Might give y'all a job.
Definitely try and help the community out. We employing the people.
Yo, we out.